What's up? This your boy JayLove We're cooking, and today I got a special guest, Mrs. Cooking, and she's about to show you her favorite dish
sweet
to make.
potato and kale stew.
So we're about to get in the kitchen and get whipping. So
Let's get cooking.
let's get cooking.
So you'll have a pan on medium-high heat with 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and you'll add your onion. You want to cook those until they're nice and clear and soft, adding a pinch of salt and pepper as you go. You'll just kind of want to keep them moving around to keep them cooking evenly. You want them to get a nice little brown caramelized flavor. That'll help add some depth into your soup. I like to use red onions. You can use white, yellow. This recipe, it's not super important which kind that you decide to use. Then you'll add about a half a teaspoon of coriander, cumin, and turmeric, as well as I like to put just a couple of flakes of red chili pepper flakes in there. It just depends on how spicy you like it or how much heat you would like for it to have. It does add just a little bit of depth of flavor, and it helps with not making it too sweet with the sweet potatoes and the coconut milk, those kinds of things. It'll help even that out some. So you just want that to get nice and caramelized and cooked into the onions and adds flavor and depth into the soup. And you'll want to keep scraping the bottom of your pan so that it doesn't get too seasoned on the bottom. Next, you'll add your ginger and your garlic, and you'll want to use about a 2-inch piece of ginger. You can grate that yourself or buy a ginger paste, and about 2 tablespoons or so of that paste, or like I said, about a 2-inch piece of ginger, and then 3 cloves of garlic minced, and just cut that as small as you can. Get that all stirred up and get it nice and mingled in there, and make sure you can add your salt and pepper here and there as you go. And just a little more salt and pepper just to add some more flavor throughout. And you'll just want to keep getting those bits from the bottom so that you can make sure that that doesn't get too brown there on the bottom, get too sticky. I like to just keep it moving with a wooden spoon. Then you'll add your sweet potatoes. And just make sure you stir those in really well. You want to get that seasoning all over them, give them some nice mingling with them onions and the flavors. Then you want to add your lentils. So you'll have about a cup of lentils. You can use whichever that you prefer. There are black lentils, red lentils, green lentils. I've even seen brown lentils, whichever you like. And this is when it gets a little dry, so you're going to feel like that the soup is starting to get a little without moisture. So you'll add your veggie broth. Is when you're going to start scraping those good brown bits from the bottom, all of that seasoning and flavor that you had there on the bottom of your Dutch oven. Get it nice and incorporated with your liquid, and it'll start to add lots of flavor into your sweet potatoes. course, your lentils just soak up that moisture. So you'll just make sure that's nice and stirred and that you have everything good and incorporated and everything scraped from the bottom. And then you're going to bring this to a boil. And once you have brought it to a boil, you will put your lid on, and you want it to sit about an inch or an inch and a half askew on the side so that it allows some of the moisture and steam to escape. And that'll add some thickness to your soup. So you'll hope that this will be about a third or maybe 2/3 at the most of the moisture that you have now once you remove your lid and it has boiled for 30 minutes or so. Now during that time, I like to go ahead and prep my kale, so I'll get that de-stemmed and washed, of course, and then cut that and chop it up into bite-sized pieces. I like smaller pieces in there, but it is really just what you prefer. So I'll just go ahead and de-stem this, and like I said, once I finish with that, I'll wash it really good and then chop that into smaller bite-sized pieces. So now we have our kale washed. We're gonna go back and check on our soup and get that finished up. So we're going to go ahead and stir this, and it will seem a little thicker. And of course, we're gonna add some coconut milk, so don't be alarmed. Just try to get as much brown bits off the bottom that you can, and all of the seasoning. You really just want to make sure everything's nice and incorporated and stirred up really well, so that it brings on all that flavor. Add some salt and pepper, just deepen the flavor a little. And then we're gonna go ahead and add our can of coconut milk. So I always like to make sure mine is nice and shake it up really good before you add that. And it just gives it a nice evenness. And then you'll go ahead and add your kale that you just washed and chopped. And like I said, if you like bigger pieces, then that's fine too. I like to cut it into smaller bite-sized pieces, and that way it gets nice and done. And it also is going to have a little crunch to it in the soup, so it'll give it a nice depth and different kinds of textures. But it is so delicious. So you'll just want to kind of work this down into the soup. And it looks like a lot of kale, but of course, once you cook kale, there's not nearly as much as it looks like. So then you'll just go ahead and add just a little pinch of salt at the end if you like. Cover that up and leave it for about 5 minutes or so. And then that just lets the kale cook enough for it to be nice and, like I said, crunchy, give it a little texture, and still get all the benefits and the health benefits of eating kale in a good, healthy, delicious soup.
Real good. Of course, you already know it's good. It's my favorite. One of my favorites. Sweet potato kale soup. Stew. Sweet potato kale stew. And lentils, right? Yeah. If you liked the video, like and subscribe for more content, and hit the notification bell to be notified when I drop a new video. because I'm bringing them good soul food recipes that you grew up with at your grandma's house. I'm coming in like that. And follow me on all social media platforms.
I remember when we first met, how it looked you in your eyes and it tempted me to smile. I knew it must have been God's sent. You so lovely, the way you love me, your mind bends. Tell me that you gon' love me until time ends. I don't know if I deserve that. I don't feel like I done earned that. My mind wonders, you telling me I'm the only one. I know you too good for me, but I don't really gotta lie. But you love me for what I got, and you ain't never knocking.